Many of us often ponder over the enigma of space. It's infinitely large, infinitely fascinating, and infinitely terrifying as well. Well, 99.9% of space is vacuum. When you do come across something of substance, chances are it could easily kill you, as if it's just an afterthought, or at the bare minimum, leave you with permanent physical and mental scars. Most of all, what really makes space dreadful is its unpredictability and unreliability. When a galaxy that has been dormant for years explodes, of course, galaxies don't explode like planets. That would be way too crazy, even for space. What happens really is when a galaxies have a lot of stars that go supernova. A supernova is when a star collapses and blows up in a huge explosion. That leads to explosion of the galaxy. It releases a massive burst of gamma rays, powerful enough to completely annihilate any planetary bodies in its path. Just to give you an idea, if a gamma ray burst, if it hit human, life on Earth would probably cease to exist. A GRB isn't a directed little beam like a ray gun. It's a relatively very narrow beam. But even for a few seconds of arc width, traveling a few light years, it is wider than the planet's entire diameter. If one occurred close enough to affect us, it would affect the entire planet. The amount of energy in one GRB is about the same as the amount of energy of the sun produced in its entire 10 billion years lifetime. But in a time ranging from milliseconds to hours, the energy density, kilojoules per femtosecond per square inch, is almost unimaginable. It will make Hiroshima seem like a lot less than a wet paper in match by comparison. A vampire star acts in the same way as a supernatural vampire does. It will suck the hydrogen and plasma from a victim, usually a nearby galaxy or a planet. Eventually, the vampire star will suck too much out of the victim that the victim will be destroyed and turned into a white dwarf. It could also possibly explode like a supernova, destroying both the stars in the process. The vampire star will start as the smallest star, but near the end of the process, it will inevitably be the larger of the two. The sucking star, when it has consumed a large amount of its victim, will become a blue star, also known as the blue straggler. In this process, it gives the appearance of being a younger star, when it is absolutely not. The only reassuring thing about the vampire stars is they don't last long. Once it consumes a smaller star, O-type star explodes into a supernova. This happens because so much mass and energy is accumulated into that in its own gravity stretches and literally takes it apart. We are a part of Milky Way galaxy. A group of galaxies form cluster. Group of these clusters called a supercluster. Our supercluster is called as Virgo supercluster. Similarly, there are other superclusters in the galactic colony as well, like Centauri supercluster and Norma supercluster. Another known fact is that universe is expanding at an alarming rate. Scientists cannot determine what is causing it, but a more darker force is at play, called dark energy. The dark energy may be the reason why the universe is expanding so rapidly. So in theory, everything should grow apart from each other. As I have mentioned, our superclusters are mapped into a single colony called Linnaeus. In that map, scientists observed that all the clusters are getting attracted to a single point, opposing to the expanding theory. From our galaxy lies a dead space anomaly called the Great Attractor, with a gravitational pull so powerful that it can pull entire galaxies towards itself and collapse them into each other. What's scarier is that we still don't know what it is. There's not even enough mass around it to account for the gravitational pull.